Deviation is the act of departing from an established course or an accepted standard. Frank Zappa once said, "Without deviation from the norm, there will be no progress." Not only did he live his life by these words, but he dedicated his life in altering the possibilities and standards in music set by those before him. Today I'll be talking about Frank Zappa, the satirical genius madman of his generation, along with his influential life and his accomplishments. Although through the 1960s there were many individuals and groups going against the standards, culture, and social life, none stood out like Frank Zappa. Frank Zappa was a symbol of the counterculture, establishing himself as a rock band leader, organizing the Mothers of Invention, or simply releasing music under his name. His music was a wave of unorganized, structured sounds, which at times would sound like an orchestra or simply in a satirical manner, poking fun or replicating the pop sound and style of his time. His lyrics were both comedic and serious, in that he would speak about topics like politics and social life, but include instances of complete randomness and humor in his lyricism. Not only was he one of the most influential electric guitar players and improvisers, but he was also musically talented in that he had the ability to compose his own music. He would create and write the music for every one of the instruments included in his art. In his 1966 debut album, Freak Out, he created the idea of a concept album, which is the continuance of a theme throughout an album's entirety. Along with Freak Out, he released 60 albums within his 30-year career, fusing genres like rock, R&B, jazz, and classical music, creating a style of music that was identifiable to him. Not only did he influence the minds of those individuals inside of the music industry and business, but they at times would honor him, imitate his style, or completely steal his music. For example, John Lennon released an album titled "Sometime in New York City," where he released a song titled "Jamrag," which was originally a song created by Frank Zappa entitled "King Kong." John Lennon would copy that song, put it on his album, and release it as his own. Though not always as severe as stealing his music, many musicians were influenced by Frank Zappa's style throughout the 60s, specifically the psychedelic era of music. For example, the Beatles produced an album entirely arranged like that of Frank Zappa's Freak Out album, which was a concept album known as Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which later Frank Zappa would make fun of, mocking the album's cover along with the peace and love message that the album brought. Frank Zappa was also posthumously acknowledged as a musical composer by the Los Angeles Philharmonic, in that his album 200 Motels was performed in its entirety for Walt Disney's Concert Hall's 10th anniversary. Zappa's career was not only influential, but was an odd, funny, and irreverent descent into madness. His life and interests being filled with bizarre antics that were overshadowed with his genius and his musical talents. Not only will he be remembered as the madman he once was, but also as the innovative, experimental musician that broke through social and musical barriers and hierarchies along the way. Thank you.